Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Real Talk with Saieed Ali. I am your host, Saeed. I do want to thank you for joining us tonight, Monday the 23rd of August 2021. So a special good night to those of you who are joining us in Trinidad and Tobago, those of you up the Caribbean, and those of you that are around the globe. Remember, we have our Facebook page that is going live presently. So those of you on Facebook, you can tune into our page also, share and like our page. YouTube, TT Real Talk, subscribe, hit the bell, and you will know when we go live. So viewers, I do want to thank you for joining us tonight, local and regional. Those of you that are on our page, also on YouTube, a special good night to you. So remember viewers, Real Talk Investment is the best way to make an extra income on your hard-earned cash. You know, you have your money put down. You have your money put down in a financial institute and you're not getting any growth. Any growth. Real Talk Group of Companies is offering to you, the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago, a Real Talk investment where we are paying up to 3.5%. The highest percentage rate presently being paid in Trinidad and Tobago is on a Real Talk investment. So viewers, my office are located on Caroni Savannah Road in Shogunas. That is number 14 Caroni Savannah Road in Shogunas. We are about 3 to 5 minutes away from the Shogunas police station. You can contact our office at 238-6716, 339-1670 or 267-7325. And make a proper investment for yourself, for your grandchildren, for your children. You know, it's the best way. It's the best way to go. And you are getting a higher percentage rate on your investment, on your fixed investment in a pandemic. When the world is seeing problems, when everybody is complaining about money, I am giving you one of the highest percentage rate presently in Trinidad and Tobago. So viewers, call us tomorrow. Our office open from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. and ask about our Real Talk investment. I do want to thank those of you who have joined our investment. Those of you from Tobago who came down, I do want to thank you so much for making that trip. And I'm looking forward to dealing with many of you all in Tobago also. So as we start off tonight our program, tonight, we're going with our Prime Minister. Prime Minister Dr. Saieed Ali has made a case of keeping the 9 to 5 curfew and for extended of the state of emergency by an additional 3 months. Dr. Rowley has defended the curfew period, stating that it was necessary to reduce movements and congregation or congregating that could trigger a third wave of COVID-19 in Trinidad and Tobago. Members of the business community, include the Chamber of Industries and Commerce, have asked for the curfew hours to be relaxed, with the chambers now suggesting that it be at midnight instead of 9 p.m. The PM also stated that the curfew would also suppress the anticipated freedom partying. The House of Representatives will break from recess on Wednesday to debate the motion for the extension of which the Prime Minister will pilot and which can be passed with a simple majority, not requiring opposition support. So viewers, tonight we want to have a little discussion about the curfew. Do you think it will benefit Trinidad and Tobago? Do you think it is suppressing the COVID-19 virus? Do you think it is killing the nightlives in Trinidad and Tobago? What do you think? What was the outcome of the last, SOE in Trinidad? The SOE in Trinidad will expire on the 29th of August. on the 29th of August. Have we benefited from it? Did we suppress the COVID-19? Did it help crime in any way possible? We all talk about COVID-19, 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 but can we really stop it? Can we really stop it? So I want to hear from you tonight, viewers. 238-6716. Feel free to call us and let us hear what you have to say about it. Now, a lot of people who worked in the night could not even get curfew pass. I have problems with it. I have problems with it. And many others who work the night shift, their boss had to close off their night work, readjust the daylight staff. Has it been a burden to you? Caller, good night. Hello?
A very good evening to you, Mr. Saieed.
To you, my friend. Go right ahead.
This government needs to pay attention to Donald Trump in the U.S. With his tutorial, his nasty attitude, talking down to people, insulting reporters. They need to pay attention, and they're not paying attention. And having the next SOE, in my opinion, will not solve anything. They just need to have the patrols and everything to make sure that everybody abides by protocols. However, most important, the southern border is still unprotected. All the best. Have a great evening.
Thank you, my friend. Thank you so much. A lot of people couldn't go out to work in the night, you know. A lot of business places had to readdress everything, you know, just to accommodate night workers, you know. So we want to have a discussion with our viewers tonight. Do you think the 9 p.m. to 5 a.m. SOE is fixing Trinidad and Tobago COVID-19 pandemic? Caller, good night.
Say good night, sir.
Go right ahead, my friend. You're live on Real Talk.
This is not good at all. The extension of the state of emergency is a waste of time and is really putting more pressure on people. For instance, I want to tell you, the airport taxis having serious problem with this, with the Commissioner of Police, because they're not issuing the curfew pass for workers who work in late in the night. So what do you expect people to do? They want private taxis to go to the airport and rob passengers when they come to Trinidad? What happened to the Commissioner of Police? He doesn't think we never had this problem before, Mr. All the state of emergency come and go in Trinidad. We were able to get curfew pass. And I wanted to go further, let you know, since this administration started under Dr. Rowley, we have also failed to get the PVR pass, which was given to us for after 15 years in this country.
Wow.
The airport taxi failed to be renewed under Minister Sinanan. So I don't know what the hell people doing, man. All they want tourism to boost. All they want people to come in our country and enjoy it. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, my friend. So, viewers, moving along, but feel free to call in 238-6716. The U.S. Food and Drug Administration, FDA, has today granted full approval to the Pfizer-BioNTech COVID-19 vaccine for persons aged 16 years and older. Today, they grant the approval. FDA in the USA. Today they grant the approval, while we here in Trinidad already start administering the Pfizer vaccine. That is something, eh? That is something to talk about. Caller, good night.
Good night, Said.
Go right ahead, my friend.
People ain't realized up to this day that Rowley is a total disgrace as a prime minister. That man cannot even talk to the public. That man is a total disgrace. He should resign or hide his face. I open a donkey farm and I put all he and all the disciples.
Thank you, my friend. Back to the Pfizer. This is the first, as they say, this is the first coronavirus vaccine approved by the FDA and is expected to open the door to meet more vaccine mandates. It added that the public can be very confident that this vaccine meets the highest standard for safety and manufacturing quality the FDA requires for any approved product. The vaccine also continues to be available under emergency use authorization, including for individuals 12 to 15 years of age, and for the administration of the third dose in certain immune compromised individual. So just imagine that. Today the FDA approved it. And in Trinidad we already given it out. So who approved it for Trinidad and Tobago? Ask yourself that. Who approved it for Trinidad and Tobago? The Minister of Health down here? The Prime Minister over here? Ask yourself that. Caller, good night.
Saeed, good night.
Go right ahead, my dear.
Saeed, I just want to say that my grandchildren would not be taking that vaccine. Secondly, the SOE that they have now up to 9 o'clock, it is doing a good because a lot of children seeing their parents. The fathers especially, they're not in the bars. They're home to talk with them, play with them, keep them company. Also the mothers, some of the delinquent mothers, they behind have to be home and spend time with their children, which is not good. I would like to use the platform to say thanks to Mr. Khan at Double Z. Today I was there to fix my windscreen and I got the best treatment. Mr. Khan was very helpful. His workers, those guys outside, they took very good care of the job and I cannot complain. Want to say thank you to Double Z. Thank you, Saeed.
Thank you, my dear. So viewers, a lot of you will be carrying your kids to get vaccinated with the Pfizer vaccine. I am not saying take it, I am not saying don't take it. But it's only today it was approved by the FDA. Only today. That is the Food and Drug Administration in the United States. And where did our Pfizer vaccine came from? Not the United States. So I want to know if the Prime Minister approved it for Trinidad and Tobago. I want to know if the Health Minister approved it for the 12 to 18 years old in Trinidad and Tobago. They came out and said to us, encourage your children to take it, but they did not came out to us and said that it was not approved by the FDA as yet. You all feeling healthy now? You all feeling good now? So whoever approved it for your child to get it, before today, I don't know if it was the Prime Minister or the Minister of Health. But today it was approved by the Food and Drug Administration in the US. And our vaccine, I believe, came from the US. How nice. How nice, Mr. Ministers. You did not tell us that it was not approved as yet, but encourage us to give our children. Well done. Well done. Caller, good night.
Saeed, I don't normally like to do this, sir. Somebody else should have disappointed me this call, but anyway, I get through. And that topic touched my nerve. So it's not only a slap in the face for the government and the CMO and whatnot, it's a kick up the rear for everybody.
Exactly
because,
so.
And what you're saying is so totally, and it makes some of that people, all you have to understand, I don't have any children going to school. My last child is over 34. And Saeed, you're so correct. Only today.
Only today it was approved. So call us last week when they was giving it out.
Well,
it wasn't approved by FDA.
I don't know, probably FDA called Terence Yalsing and tell him. I don't know, but you see, this is when you don't listen and you're trying to push your agenda. This is a whole it blow up in the face. All the best. Have a great evening. Thanks again.
Thank you, my friend. So all the kids that who got their vaccine, only today it was approved by the Food and Drug Administration. But we have the health minister. It's safe. All you take it. Wow. Wow, what a slap in the face when we thought it was approved by FDA and children could go and get it. So what about now, viewers? This is the do's and the don'ts I just look at. So what about if FDA did fail the Pfizer vaccine? What would have happened to all the children that took it last week? What would have happened? What the health minister would have came out and say? Or would they have swept it under the carpet? You see, that is why I just come and inform you. When news breaks around the world and it will benefit Trinidad and Tobago, I will come out and inform you. Caller, good night.
Good night, Mr. Ali.
Go right ahead.
This government should be shut, should be in the front of firing squad and be shut. They're not listening to anybody. They're doing their own thing.
Correct.
Okay, they're doing their own thing. If they look at England, or people protesting
yes.
all over the world.
All over they protesting about the vaccine.
And this government not watching or seeing that. They're doing everything on their own. They're not listening to anybody. It come like it's a communist state now. Thank you.
Thank you, my friend. It's a shame. It's a shame. Let me tell you something. When I read that it was approved today, I was like, wow, I wonder what's going on with all them children from last week. Did their parents know that it wasn't approved as yet? How many doctors and nurses knew that it wasn't approved as yet? How many of them who was administering it didn't know it was FDA approved as yet? But they're encouraging you, go take it, go take it, go and take it. So let's just say FDA did not approve it. What's going to happen to Trinidad? You think the minister would have come out and tell us, well, you know, the FDA didn't approve it? You think they would have do that? Because they already start vaccinating without the FDA approvals. Saieed, don't do that. You're mashing up the government. You're bashing the government. I have a reason to do it. While you're wondering if it's approved or ain't approved, the health minister ain't coming out and telling us, well, you know, the Pfizer was approved by FDA or it failed by FDA. No, I'll encourage all our children to go and take it. So let's just say FDA did not approve it. What would have happened? This is why I just say, if you are a minister and you want to make yourself a clown, I will make fun of you. Caller, good night.
Good night, good night. This is the imitation vaccine vagrant. I want to start with school and then we come in to talk about SOE. I see the number one vaccine vagrant opening school in Chatham and he opened school in Sawa too.
Yeah, in Sawa too.
What is surprising, I ain't see it looked like he didn't invite Saddam, and that is so, childish. But he opening school now, and no trying to send to school, and he's still doing it online. So you see how his brain thinking. He should have fixed all those schools long ago. You remember the two major projects he started when he won the election? What he did? He made an investment in toilet paper. You remember that? He goes to study school because he know what he was going to do down the road. Feces down the road. Now the other thing is, the other big contract he do, and he was washing down Brian Lara. He could have take that money, 100 million, and do what? Build all these schools and have the children in school for a long time. All right, let me talk about SOE. What benefits are we going to have for this SOE? Is the SOE going to save us from debt due to the criminals, debt due to the mismanagement of the economy, debt due to COVID? Which one is going to help us? I don't believe it's going to help us, none. Let me read something on a newspaper what the vaccine vagrant said. He said
that the population, if not properly guided, could exhale and relax too quickly with one unwanted outcome. That is what he said. You remember what they did in March 2020? When they signed off the proclamation that is a pandemic? What did the vaccine vagrant and Terran the Terrible do? He tell people, we're going to jam and wine, carnival. It started a jam with him. He say, he begging for none. He say, all they go dead. We are begging for no vaccine, they said, my people. So what he come in with a SOE? That tells people, to psych up people, to follow him. He misled people from early o'clock. Look what has happened. 100 deaths, I'm counting 1,237 today. What we expect from this man, and SOE doesn't help. He could continue with the Public Health Safety Act and the curfew, but do not take away the rights, the constitutional rights of the average citizen. That is to intimidate, and that is to prevent OJ marching on September the 1st.
Thank you, my friend. I understand what you're saying. And the caller is right. This is the same individual who said if you write a letter, it will be like you're begging. And they want to bring now SOE now for another 3 months. Why are you bringing it for another 3 months? And you're saying it will suppress the COVID-19 when you didn't even want to ask for vaccine. You didn't want to ask if you write a letter. Oh God, I'm begging. Who are you begging for? You're begging for the people who put you in power. You're begging for the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago. But you don't want to beg. You don't want to beg. Jamaica begging. All the other Caribbean countries begging for vaccine for their citizens because they know how important it is. But we're not begging. Now you want to come and extend another 3 months with SOE. To do what? To suppress the spread of COVID-19. What you doing? You spinning top in mud, you're making a fool of yourself, and you want to be a clown. So I will make fun of you. I will make fun of you. Just remember in the parliament, just remember in the House of Representatives, COVID-19 is not a topic to talk about. It's not important. I wonder how the House Speaker feeling now. 1,200 and climbing dead because it wasn't important. I wonder how she feeling now. When the Prime Minister said he's not going to beg for vaccine, now all you want to extend that 3 months SOE, what are you doing? All you're making all yourself a clown, and I will laugh at all you. I will laugh at you all. Plenty of people have book sense, but they don't have common sense to know when they're making themselves a clown in front of a nation. And you want to drag the citizens with you. Caller, good night.
Yeah, good night, Saeed.
Go right ahead, my friend.
Yeah, you know the reason why.
Stick your goddamn click. A minute is expensive and on airtime. The Ministry of Education, Dr. Nian Gasby-Dolly, have stated that virtual classes will continue when the new school term starts on September 6th. So they never had intention of cleaning school. They will save their money. They never had intention of opening back any school. They would save that money. But encourage your children to get the Pfizer vaccine, which was only approved today by FDA. So how are the parents feeling now? Happy that your kids got it last week? You all happy? Let's just hope that nothing happened to these children who got the Pfizer vaccine. Let's just hope. Because I'll follow all the minister. And I went and you take it. And didn't even find out if it was approved or not. Caller, good night.
Hi, good night, sir.
Go right ahead, my friend.
You know, if it's only today Pfizer got approved,
Yes.
what about the other vaccine like
that is a good question.
AstraZeneca, and all this other, what they're bringing out? All right, we have sympathy for our children, but what about our citizens, the adult citizens, that there is no way, I don't know if it is miles or how far away, for approval for those? You know, all this thing does not make sense. And then when you hear the Prime Minister rubbishing and talking, he talk everybody else is talking rubbish about talk show hosts and all these things. When you're talking about MMR and polio and all these things, these vaccines have been there for decades. They have been tested and proven, and you would have seen there is absolutely no hesitancy. People go and get those things and put the children. But this is what they call, I don't think it is even classified as a vaccine. It is experimental for emergency use. Educate the people, let them make informed, and I think the Law Association should intervene here. Let there be a provision that people could sue the government or sue the ministry or something. Now, if you have a child, and I have seen on other shows, people, complain about the children suffering with chest pain, they go to the hospital and all these kind of things. What would the government do? Just say, sorry, and you lost your child, you lost everybody? All these things does not make sense. What is government do? On another note, what about all these people in St. Helena and Madras Road and all over that have been flooded out? Has anything been done at all to help them financially? Is anything at all? The government spends billions and billions and billions. And when the opposition asks, 5 years an accountant would know. If there is no accountability, you spend money, but what did you spend? Did you spend it on the citizens, or where did it spend? I think we need an investigation into this. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, my friend. So while stayed on the schools now, Gatsby Dolly, while her ministry and the government looks at how many students receive their vaccine, Gatsby Dolly also added that vaccination program will be monitored over the next few days to determine who can be brought back physically. Like they expected somebody to have some complications. However, she noted that students should start school virtually on September 6th. Listen to this.
It is our hope that we could continue to produce top-class professionals from our students. But to get back to that place, to that reality, our children have to get back to school. So parents of those 12 and over, please get your children vaccinated. We will look closely at the vaccination program over the next few days as we determine who can be brought back physically. But our students should start school virtually come September the 6th.
It would be nice to reach back to that place. But she encouraged the parents to get their children vaccinated. What she did not say was only today it was approved by FDA. Only today. Why she didn't say that? Why she didn't say that? Because it would have been a backlash on the health ministry. Listen this. Meanwhile, Prime Minister Dr. Saieed Ali continued to urge parents to be responsible and get their children vaccinated. Dr. Ali stated that given the U.S. Food and Drug Administration has granted full approval to Pfizer BioNTech vaccine for persons 16 years and older, he is wondering if this new information will now change people's minds. Mr. Rowley, last week they started administering Pfizer vaccine and it's only today it was approved by FDA. So from today now, from tonight now, a lot of parents' head would roll. They would be wondering, who approved it last week for my child? Was it the Prime Minister? Was it the Health Minister? Was it the CMO? Was it the epidemiologist doctor? Who approved it for my child last week? So now the parents' mind now going on really turn. Caller, good night.
Sorry, good night.
Right ahead.
Sorry, two things quickly. Firstly, on the first issue in the Saturday program with the state of emergency, this state of emergency has been a complete waste of time. It has affected the country socially and economically. Understand? And now the extended, it makes no sense because we still have rampant crime taking place in the country. the people are still, from the so-called COVID, people are still getting infected with it. So this state of emergency ain't doing nothing absolutely at all. And on the issue of these school training, listen to this pit bull, this aggressive man that is called the Prime Minister of the country, the prime monster. So is it possible you could have somebody who's versed with law to explain to us, because as I can always tell you, your program is number 1 at night, right? So is it possible you can have a lawyer explain to the citizens of this country what is our options pertaining to the government if they choose to tell students who haven't taken this vaccine that they can't come to, because this is what he's basically saying this evening when he's opening the school. Understand? He's basically saying the students who ain't take no vaccine, if by time mid-September they look at a segment of the school population has not been vaccinated, those students who ain't get vaccine, they can't come to school. If possible, you can have a lawyer to come and advise us.
I will talk to my lawyer. I will talk to my lawyer and find out if she could come on set to do our session.
Yeah, because I really want to know where we as parents stand in taking the military education to the court of law. Because for me, we're buying books, we're doing everything, we're buying uniform. Understand? School, none of us students were able to go to school last year. Right side, they have to stay home and do online learning. In some cases, a lot of these children, boys and girls, they put on size. So the uniform that the parents bought for them to go to school
can't fit anymore.
They can't fit them.
True.
Some of these places have not taken back the old soap uniforms that brand new that were not able to put onto the children. So all this money has gone down the drain. You ain't hear nothing from Ministry of Education coming to address that. But now they want to tell parents who trying to get vaccinated, they will be unable to come to school. So, Said, please, I beg of you, if you can have a lawyer, come and give us some advice on how we could go about it when that time reach, if the Ministry of Education and the Prime Minister don't want our children to come to school. Thank you, Said.
Thank you, my friend. Now, I know one thing, they cannot make it mandatory. They cannot even go to Parliament and start to raise that as a topic. You can't do that, because I will come out one time and tell you, when prisoners got sentenced to hang, why you're not hanging them? Why you're not hanging? And I want to know which human rights organization coming out in Trinidad and to talk about is human rights. Let me tell you something. I will have a team of lawyers fully equipped to deal with any one of them coming out. Any one of them coming out is a fully equipped team of 14 or 15 highly trained lawyers in top position. All I feel like this come here, Jesso. All I feel like this come here, Jesso. It's about 14 or 15 well-equipped lawyers I have, you know. You think I'm a businessman, Jesso? You think I just do real estate, Jesso? You think you would just come and drop a deed on my table and say, Said, I want $2 million for this, and these are original deed? Boy, think again, boy. Think again. Now, hear this. Minister of Health Terence Singh have stated that persons living in remote and coastal area will be prioritized for distribution of the Johnson & Johnson COVID-19 vaccine. TNT received the first shipment of Johnson & Johnson vaccine on Friday, as Friday gone, ordered from the African Medical Suppliers platform. Singh noted that persons in remote communities may not have the means to access vaccine at the various mass vaccination sites or health centers.
The first tranche of these Johnson & Johnson vaccines will be sent to, and we are prioritizing in the first tranche, in the first instance, our remote coastal areas and villages. What am I talking about? There are many areas and pockets of communities in the coastal areas and even inland that want to be vaccinated but don't have the wherewithal to be transported twice to a mass vaccination site or even go to a health center. So, we'll be prioritizing areas like in the North Coast, Las Cuevas, Blanchisseuse, Matlot, Sans Souci, by going out to communities.
They're going out to communities to vaccinate them. Why didn't they go out to communities and test for COVID-19? Why they didn't do that? and they may not have the means to go and get one dose or a second dose. So that alone will tell me, Terrence, that you are aware that some of the citizens in Trinidad and Tobago in rural areas are not employed. By you making that statement, that is what you're telling me. So if you as the health minister could come out and say that, what happened to the prime minister? He blind, he dumb, he deaf? What happened to the Minister of Finance? They're blind, they're dumb, and they're deaf to know that jobs are very, very low in Trinidad and Tobago, and you are the health minister. You are the health minister and you recognize that. What about your colleagues in the same administration? Why they don't come out and say something? Caller, good night.
Hello, good night, sir.
Go right ahead, my friend.
This evening I was looking on Ian Allen's program, and a father called in and said his 17-year-old son went and take this vaccine, and he ended up in hospital with chest pains and all kind of things.
A lot of
he's in hospital.
A lot of parents, caller.
Yeah, a lot of parents.
A lot of parents call me and tell me about it, about the vaccine. So now that the vaccine was approved today by FDA, all those who took it last week, what could happen? Your health minister gave you a vaccine last week that wasn't approved by FDA last week. Now let's say something now. Now one could jump up on a high horse. Caller, good night.
Good night, Mr. Ali.
Go right ahead.
You know you have a right to call them clowns. You killed when they were spraying the vaccine from Barbados, and he say not begging?
He not
begging parents to come and give their children vaccine. You see he's a real clown?
Thank you, my friend. Now listen this. We stayed on the health minister. He stated that mobile unit would go into these communities to encourage persons to get vaccinated and answer any question they may have. The other thing added, one shot and you're done.
All of these communities, we want to touch you, inform you, give you the information, and then give you access to another world-class WHO vaccine. One shot and you're done. So if you have a fear of needles, your fear of needles is cut in half, right? I see Dr. Marion Richards laughing and agreeing with me here.
Yeah. If you're afraid of needles. Terrence, them ain't afraid of needle, boy. They're not afraid of needle. Why you think you're getting vaccine hesitancy? Why? Lack of information in the public domain. Caller, good night.
Good night, Mr. Ali.
Go right ahead.
I'm calling to put some light into something that is going on in the Cuba hospital at the moment.
Go right ahead. Once it's legit.
I have a relative there who has been in the hospital for 2 weeks now. We keep carrying medication, water, Listerine, wipes. The patient getting the clothes that we carry, but he's not getting anything else. Things like the medication, he's not getting it.
So somebody thieving it then?
Somebody somewhere stealing from the sick people.
Wow.
Things like water. He stayed 2 days without water because they could not find the water that we sent. And this is something I'm telling you, I am going every other day to carry stuff for him. Simple things like Reduxon, Vicks, all these things, they're not getting it.
So you telling me you carrying proper stuff for your relative in the Cuba hospital and they getting half of it? Just the clothing?
They getting clothing, pillow, blanket, they getting those things.
But the food and the water and whatever they're not getting that?
They're not getting those things.
Wow. I will talk to somebody.
I am telling you, things like medication, they're not getting it.
It's sad, boy. It's sad. How long have this been going on, my dear?
My relative is there 2 weeks now.
So this going on 2 weeks. So you carrying stuff for them 2 weeks now and they're not getting it.
That's what I'm telling you.
Thank you so much for sharing the information, my dear. So we have thieves. Thank you. So we have thieves working in the hospital now. Wow. I'll talk to somebody. Now, they also, he noted that to date, some 34% of the population have been vaccinated with at least one shot of a COVID-19 vaccine, while 26% have been fully vaccinated. Let me tell you something. I just always say that, you see, lack of information, the people will perish, Lack of information, people will perish. So if Terence Singh now, together with his entourage medical team, did came out and tell the public that the FDA did not approve the Pfizer vaccine for 16 and over, or from 12 to 18 in Trinidad and Tobago, would you have rushed and go and take it with your children? Would you carry your children to get it last week? If he came out and made a statement, he didn't come out and inform us. And we rush going. Caller, good night.
Hi, good evening.
Go right ahead. You're live on Real Talk, my dear.
All what you are doing is just jackassing.
That is where you call. Hey, watch me. You see how watch me. You see how God is doing things to remind me certain things. Family, I do thank you for calling in and reminding me something I said on Friday. I do thank you so much. God will use the foolish things of the earth. The foolish things of the earth, God will use to confirm to the wise, hey, don't forget this. And hey, don't forget that. My family, since you're calling, I wanted to use that certain nonsense. I just hope that when you go and your children go and get the vaccine, I hope nothing happened to them. You know why I'm saying that? Because this same show you're going to call in to complain. This same show. I wonder if you get food voucher for your when it was shut down. I wonder if you get your rent paid. I wonder if you get your rent paid or you got a salary to buy food for your children, but you want to call in and condemn Real Talk. Let me tell you something. You see, also, when the hair go down the drain, it's not a watch all you know, it's a kick all you go down. It's a kick all you go down. Hey, watch me. Viewers, remember on Friday I tell you a guy messaged me in my inbox? And he said, Saieed is a Makuma man. But tonight I go answer your question, partner. To show you're a big man and you're illiterate. Throw him up. Anybody know this individual? Look his name on TV. Anybody know him? Now this is what he sent to me. You are a letdown. What are you fighting is a question he asking. All talk about you got the vaccine. I saying it along with others. Saieed, you are a big Makome man. Come back to me, Shane. What am I fighting? I stood right here in a year and a half and pushed for 8 legislation amendments and got it signed by the President of Trinidad and Tobago. The last 2. Listen this. What am I fighting for? The last 2, let me educate you, brother man. I realize you're married. Child sex offender registry was pushed by me, Saieed, to go public. So in case you hear somebody rape your wife or they rape your children, with the sex offender registry, what I fight for, you clown, what I fight for is that individual, if they rape your wife or your children, so their face and the name would go public. That's what I fight for. Secondly, the other thing we pushed for recently and got it past, pepper spray. Who would benefit in your big clown? Your wife and your children, because now they could go into the police station and follow their COC, certificate of character, and once the character clean, she taking your money self to buy pepper spray. You clown. What's the next one? All talk about the vaccine. Let me tell you something. You yourself didn't even know FDA didn't pass the Pfizer last week. That's why I say, when you're big and you have sense is one thing, but when you're big and you make yourself a clown is a different thing. So all your friends and them know, all your friends and them who I stand right here and fight and push and ask the Attorney General to pass the pepper spray is for them wife and for them girl child and for their sister and for their sister-in-law to have pepper spray in their possession. Let me tell you something. You know what you call that? You willfully conspired in your mind to send a text message to Saeed calling him a Marco man. You willfully, with intention, to send a text message to Saeed to call him a Marco man. You, my friend, intentionally went on Facebook and used a platform to call a other individual a name, a bullying name. You, my friend, intentionally, without hesitation, right, conspire to send a text message to break one moral value. Let me tell you something. I could go on and on and on at the amount of charge cyber unit could place on you, and you won't even have a clue of what I'm talking about. You know anything about that? When all of us want to talk up in all of all of us want to talk because God gave all your tongue. And all of us want to talk because all you have a mouth on all your head. Let me tell you something. If I read out charges you could get from sending that text message through cybercrime unit, let me tell you something. You would be begging God to take your life because you wouldn't even have money to pay to come out of it. And let me inform you a little thing more. You might have some friend, hey, go and set side up reaction protocol letter, send him a defamation character of letter. You know, one simple question the magistrate will ask you. One simple question. What caused you to send Saeed that text message? Do you know Saeed? No. All I know is watch him on TV. Do you know Saeed personally? No. Have you ever met Saeed? No. So when you tell yourself, you're thinking, your friends and them going to encourage you to send Saeed a defamation character letter, let me tell you something, think again. Think again. So viewers, you see cyberbullying? Cyberbullying, for those of you who don't know, is a very serious thing. And I want to know if that individual would train his children in the same way he is thinking. What am I fighting for? What did you do for the neighbor next door? What did you do for your community that you're living in? What did you do as an individual stand up and fighting for something in Trinidad and Tobago that would benefit somebody, Mr. Terrence? What did you do? But you want to send a message in my inbox personally. Call me a Marco man. Let me tell you something. If the cybercrime unit visit you, you might tutu down yourself. If my lawyer send a letter for you, you might want to kill yourself. Because that is what you call cyberbullying, if you don't know. And the Attorney General presently, I believe is working out charges for cyberbullying. So if you don't know the crime you have committed, let me tell you something. Before you go and sleep tonight, ask God for forgiveness. Ask God for forgiveness because I mightn't forgive you. You understand? Boy, let me tell you something. That they say when you have a child, train them in the way that you want them to be. This is how this individual is training. This is how he's teaching the children and them. You could tell people anything you want as long as they may know who you is. That way you call training. Now you want to know why we have one set of bandits running around the road. Now you want to know. Caller, good night.
Good night, good night.
Go right ahead.
Yes. I'm calling this concerning the vaccines. I've been researching this for the last 30 years now. Now, if you look at vaccines, I want to tell everyone, when you have to go back to history on vaccines. Now, if you look at all these polio and all these stuff, people took vaccines in history. If you look at true documentation, I want everybody to open their minds now, because this thing we call television, it's called television programming because people are programmed to have their perspective on whatever we look in life at. Now, our confidence is in this. How come everyone is believing in this so-called CDC? And just by the way, this FDA who finally approved this vaccine, when you guys go into your research, FDA does not test these vaccines after it goes through CDC. I want everybody to check that. They do not go through any. All they do is just say, okay, well, we'll wait and we'll have it approved, finally approved. Now, I want to tell you something. This is a bioweapon, and in 2015, Bill Gates came out and talked about the population of the world through vaccination. If you look at that lecture, people were so programmed. They even had a standing ovation, if you guys go back and look at it. For he said, through vaccination, we will depopulate the population. And I want people to understand, if we don't wake up, we're going to have a Trinidad here. And plus, I want everybody to know, I did my homework. These vaccines, if it doesn't kill you, it's sterilizing you. You're not going to be able to have children for the rest of your life, for all these children who's taking it. And just by the way, I'm a maths teacher, and I care about all my children and all the future of Trinidad and Tobago. I'm a born Canadian, but I can tell you guys, I've been doing my research for a long, long time. And I can tell you, I want people to open up their eyes now. This is a serious, serious thing we're going down here. And I want to tell you guys something. This COVID-19 is a flu that could be easily treated with other, I'm not going to say, with other very cheap
medication,
other drugs that people could take. And as well as, why is it we not addressing the immune system of our body? What God gave us, no man can touch it. And I want everybody to know and open their eyes. If you guys don't know, you could heal your body on your own by proper breathing techniques and doing other things. But we go down this road giving big pharma our money, and if you look at the U.S., guys, that is not something you guys want to go down, because the U.S. right now is treating cancer and all these different types of patients. But why is nobody addressing obesity? Obesity is the #1 cause for these patients who's actually dying from COVID. It's not the COVID itself. It's the underlying circumstances that they are probably undergoing, whether it might be diabetes or whatever it might be. Now, would you guys understand something? If somebody is overweight, right, and you go in the hospital, and this person tests positive for COVID, they won't say this person died from obesity, you know. This person died from COVID. Everything
exactly,
is COVID.
That is what is taking place.
What happened to all the rest of the diseases? Why are we not addressing that?
You see?
Why are we not addressing...
Remember we talk about that?
Right? Why everything turned to COVID? I want you guys to understand something too. The flu, the regular flu. Where's all the flu cases? Did it disappear?
Take a back seat in Trinidad.
Right? So I want everybody to understand, when they make this thing mandatory for everyone, and right now, if you guys don't know, in the States and so on, they're giving people money to take the vaccine. If this had to save lives, and it was so good to save everyone's life, why do you have to pay a person? People would have seen the importance of it. Right? So anyways, I think so. Mr. Saieed Ali, I thank you so much. I love your show. Right? I hope you continue your good work.
Thank you so much, my friend. I am going to continue. I am going to continue. You see, as the individual was saying, all the rest of flu take a back seat. I said it. What happened to heart attack? What happened to kidney failure? What happened to pneumonia fever? Where all that gone? All that take a backseat? How come we're not finding out when the individual die from COVID-19 and they have comorbidities? What is the problem? This is, I've been asking the health minister, but apparently he cannot come out with it. He cannot come out and let the public know, well, this individual had COVID-19, but they died from a heart attack. You want to put a fear on the citizen now. A fear on the citizens to let them know, well, hey, COVID-19 killed them and you had to take the vaccine. Our Prime Minister came out and said, you maybe had the COVID-19 and you overcome it within yourselves. He said that in a press briefing and we played it right here on TV. Right here. Hey, let me tell you something. Here it is, eh? We have about 5 minutes left before our show ends. Technical Director of Epidemiologist Dr. Avery Hines acknowledged the case. Now listen to this. TNT has not recorded any fatalities from administering of the Pfizer-BioNTech COVID-19 vaccine, but there have been just one confirmed report of an alleged reaction associated with the vaccine. Now, he did not specify the type of allergies reaction, but said the patient was handled by the health system.
We have not received any such report, especially any report of a fatality. We have received a report of at least one allergic reaction, which was handled by the health system, and the individual in question is actually quite well at this point in time. And as those events come up, we will definitely be notified if there's any trend that indicates any problem or any danger. The objective of the vaccination program and of the health system is to improve health and to avoid risk. So if any information comes up that suggests risk, then the ministry will of course take the necessary steps to reduce that risk.
Now viewers, just a little follow-up. Only today the FDA granted the approval of the Pfizer vaccine. Just today. And for the individual who wanted to be famous in my inbox, well, you're famous tonight. I did promise the viewers on Friday I would show it tonight. And they say, watch me, it slipped my mind, you know. Good thing Tanti called, you know. Tanti used the foolish thing to remind the wise of what to do. So Tanti, I still want to thank you tonight. Thank you that God used you to remind Saeed, to highlight the individual who wanted to be famous. Well, now you're famous, brother man. Now you're famous. So everybody who know you, by your name being published on TV, I put it up because you went in my inbox and you tried to cyberbully me. I tell you, watch me. All you think it easy to spend over $1 million a year to keep our platform to be criticized by the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago. And on top of that, when I push for something, it benefit them. All you think it easy? It's not easy, you know. Your own friends is go against you for standing up. And when you do something, you know, it benefit them. It benefit them. But nevertheless, viewers, Real Talk Investment is currently encouraging you, the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago. Real Talk Group of Companies is currently encouraging you, the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago, to make a Real Talk investment where you could get from 3% to 3.5% on a Real Talk fixed investment. One of the highest paid percentage rate presently being paid in Trinidad and Tobago. Let me tell you something. Real Talk investment, we're beating back the banks, we're beating back any financial institute in Trinidad and Tobago. So if you want to come on board, you want to get a big return on your investment, 238-6716, 339-1670, 267-7325. We are located, my office are located on number 14 Carolina Savannah Road in Shogunas. My office is open from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. You can also call me direct at 339-1670 for more information concerning our Real Talk investment. Viewers, it's been a pleasure being here with you on this Mashup Monday night. Remember, Real Talk with Saieed Ali is being shown on Synergy Television from Monday to Friday from 7 to 8 p.m. And I do want to thank Mr. O'Brien Haynes for giving me, Saieed, the opportunity to have a platform like this on his station. So viewers, until we meet again, Allahumma subakur ba illa ila hamza mathrka ba illa anta. When you want your children to grow up successful, when you want to have a start, or you want to give your children a start from a tender age, give them a Real Talk investment where you would benefit the most. So until we meet again, good night.